Welcome to the Cash Flow Chronicles. I'm your host, Jonny and the founder of Cattani Capital Group. For the last 2 years, I've been studying alternative assets and now help solve the problem of creating passive cash flow for creators, influencers, and busy professionals by bringing you 5 episodes a week of easy to understand education in the world of passive investing. What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Friday Follow-Up here on the Cash Flow Chronicles podcast. I am your host, Jonny Cattani, and we've made it through another week. And this is a week of first 3 days in a row of solo podcasts, solo episodes. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed them. As you can hear in my voice, I am still getting over this cold. In fact, I woke up today actually feeling worse, but throughout the day, I pulled myself through. Unfortunately, as a lot of entrepreneurs probably know, you don't really have time to get sick. Although I did take some time of the day off, stayed in bed, and then finally there was too much I had to do. So I got up and got moving and got outside, got some fresh air, and honestly don't feel terrible, although I'm still pretty tired, and you can hear in my voice. So I probably sound better than I feel, but that's showbiz, baby. What are you going to do, you know? So today, I wanted to talk about something a little bit different. We obviously always talk about investing, and we've been doing a series about, how to determine your risk threshold. We talked about real estate. The last couple of days, we talked about oil and gas and kind of pivoting and, why it's important to be able to do all of that. And all of that is super important. But today, I was reading the Wall Street Journal, as I do every day, and I came across an article that they wrote on Bernard Arnault. If you don't know who Bernard Arnault is, he is the CEO of LVMH, which is the group that owns like Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior, Tiffany & Co., like all the top luxury brands. He's a CEO. Now, as of last fall, is now the richest man in the world, somewhere around like I believe about, just like a casual, I think it's about 208 billion, somewhere in there. Nothing too crazy. I can't even say that with a straight face. I mean, that is insane money. I mean, and obviously, has obviously built his success and is self-made, but $208 billion is just, I mean, that's just so much money for any one family to have, right? It goes beyond like FU money. Like $100 million is like FU money. This is like, I mean, to be the richest man in the world, just crazy, right? And then the problems that you have are so different, right? I mean, you're talking like people know who you are to where you need to have like private security, and people can't really know where you're going all the time, unless it's like sort of your top executives and you're going to a meeting. You're very secretive because not just anybody can and should know, and if they do, it can be dangerous to you and your family, and just a whole other level of first world problems, right? And the article was written about how he's trying to determine who the successor of his empire is going to be, and how he still is yet to put anyone in place. And he's 74 years old, and so it's kind of getting to that point where it's like he's either going to die the CEO and his successor is going to be named after he dies, or he's going to announce it before he passes. And not to say that he's doesn't still have another 20 years of life left to live, but 74, you're probably, I would imagine, I obviously he loves what he does, but I would imagine you're getting close to the point where you want to retire, you want to be done, at least in some capacity. Now, certainly he's put people in place, right? He's got CEOs of each individual brand is still its own company. Even the company that owns the shares, this is great. Even the management company. So there's a holding company that actually owns his stake in each brand. It also has its own C-suite as well. So his kids all do different things, and they all range from I think his daughter is in her early 50s, and 48. She's 48 years old. Delphine is her name, and she is the CEO of Christian Dior. Just got named CEO of Christian Dior. And then all the way down to his youngest, Frederic, is 28, and he runs Tag Heuer watch brand. So yes, he owns Tag Heuer as well. All the top name brands are in that group. Excuse me, he does have a 24-year-old son, Jean. He is a director of marketing and development at Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton watches. So there you go. See, so each brand is its own individual company that has a CEO and VPs and SVPs and all the way down to, like, imagine owning a luxury brand, and because it's so luxury and there's so much happening, that the watch division is separate than the shoe division, than and Nike's like, well, I shouldn't even say that, because Nike's like that too, right? Nike doesn't really do watches, but they did, right? But like the shoes are different than the apparel, and Jordan is different than, Kevin Durant's brand, and so on and so forth. I believe Kevin Durant's with Nike. So anyway, what I'm getting at is he's really been able to put his kids in positions that really fit them, and he's groomed them since they were young kids. They all had to go to engineering schools. He's groomed them in mathematics, has been a big focus for him. Once a month, they meet for 90 minutes, at the headquarters in a private dining room, and just discuss topics, discuss managers. He's really really testing and trying to determine who's going to be the heir to this empire. And certainly, all of them will have a piece, right? I would imagine that when your father has an empire like this and has groomed you the way he's groomed you, your goal is you're going to stay there, in some capacity. That may not be true. Like, that may not be true, but certainly the brand itself is valued at 480 billion. And if that's all is working there, and luxury brands, and he owns all of them, the group owns all of them, it's like, what else are you going to do? You know what I mean? Not to say that, your expertise couldn't be used somewhere else, but I just have a hard time imagining that they're going to go anywhere else in their lifetime, even if they don't become CEO of the conglomerate. But you could become CEO of Louis Vuitton. I mean, I imagine they're all vying for it. Delphine being the front runner, with her being the only one who isn't a chief executive role. In fact, I believe she's the only one. Let's see. Oh no, her brother Antoine is the CEO of the holding company. Yeah, so he's the CEO of the holding company. So there you have it, right? The two oldest, kind of really obviously the front runners. And it's just fascinating because, as someone who has a family business in their family, which I obviously do not work for, not nearly this big. It is a large company. It is up there for sure. But, we're talking, I'm not really sure. It's been a long time since I've even been involved in the company. I only talked to my uncle, who's the president, but, you know, it's probably somewhere in the 70 million to $100 million range total for the company, right? Not them. And, and my uncles even made comments about like, oh, why don't, I'm surprised that you haven't wanted to get involved. But the thing is when you look at a family dichotomy like the Arnault family, is he's been grooming them, right? And preparing them. None of us were groomed or prepared. It was just kind of, if you guys want to, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine too, right? And which is totally fine. And in my family and business did not mix because it was only one business. Whereas here, there's so many brands and so many different businesses and so many different roles that you truly can spread your children out and spread your family out to where each person can feel that they're feel like and actually fill a a decision-making role and still be contributing. Whereas, a smaller company is not really going to, have that many positions that truly have that. So I just thought it was interesting to read this article and to look at this family and, to kind of read about how he's, kind of grooming them, the CEOs, the longtime CEOs that he had over Louis Vuitton and, some of the other, like, I mean, they've got Celine, they've got Lowe, Marc Jacobs. I mean, they have them all. There's an absolute monopoly on luxury brands. And the kids, a lot of the executives have been at these companies for a long time, as a lot of executives are. And, they have grown up with them and have been kind of groomed by them and, are good at certain things and, and so it's fascinating to see, imagine your mentor was the CEO of Louis Vuitton. You know what I mean? That's a very, that's very different, right? And the knowledge that you have and the skills that you have, like, they're obviously very focused on this business. And I would be curious to see what family is like. Do they also run it like a business? Do they just sort of put it all aside for the business? Are they family? Are they close in any capacity outside of their business relationships, right? That would be very, very interesting to see and to discover if, they what kind of relationship they have outside of the business. So anyway, I just thought that article was fascinating. You guys can go and read it. It's on the Wall Street Journal. It's called "The World's Richest Person Auditions His 5 Children to Run LVMH, the luxury empire." So anyways, that's really all I had. I just wanted to talk about something different. That is one thing with doing solo episodes is, I kind of realized that I do have a capacity for talking about too much, and been doing a ton of networking this week outside of the podcast. Just kind of changing where I focus my energy. And so I just wanted to talk about something different. So anyway, I appreciate you guys listening as always. Very, very grateful for my listeners. I wouldn't be here without you guys, without your encouragement. So thank you so much. As always, you can follow me on social media at Jonny Cattani, JONNY CATTANI. Email me, you guys. If you go listen to Wednesday's episode, that episode talks about the oil and gas opportunity. It's available for accredited investors. So if you're a accredited investor and you're looking to offset active W-2 income and 3.5x your money, basically they use in the webinar, they use a $200,000 example, and through the cash flow and the exit, 200,000 turns into 700,000. So you heard that correctly. 200,000 turns into 700,000. So again, these are just projections, past performance, not indicative of future results, but it's there if you want to listen and then reach out to me. I would love to chat with you guys about it. Of course, you can always join my list, investwithcattani.com, investwithcattani.com, and I will talk to you guys next week. Have a great weekend. See you guys. Thank you again for tuning in. Who do you know that wants more cash flow? Share this episode with them so you can grow your cash flow together. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you're subscribed on your platform of choice so you never miss a new episode. Go to CataniCapitalGroup.com to learn more.